Oh, hello everybody, and welcome. It's good to see you. Today we will talk more about the Bible. Right, Anna? Anna? Anna,
What?
it's time for the Jesus Church.
I totally forgot. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now I'm here.
Yeah, I was just telling everybody that today we will talk more about the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we will.
So, have you been reading your Bible, Anna?
No, I haven't.
You didn't read your Bible?
No.
But Anna, last time we talked about how important it is to read your Bible every day.
Yes, but I've been listening to it.
Okay. I've been reading the Bible.
Oh, I like that picture.
Yeah, I like this Bible. It has a lot of beautiful pictures in it. And a lot of very good stories.
Yeah, that's true. So did you find any good stories?
A lot of good stories.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe we should share some of the stories with the children and the moms and everybody in the Jesus Church today.
Yeah, well, that's a good idea. I have a few that I would like to share.
Okay, so you can start.
Yeah, I will.
Jesus at a wedding. Jesus and his disciples, along with his mother Mary, were invited to a wedding at Cana in Galilee. Wedding celebrations often went on for a week. After a while, they ran out of wine to serve the guests. Jesus' mother Mary quietly pointed out this problem to Jesus. "Jesus," she said, "they have no more wine." "Why are you involving me?" asked Jesus. His mother went to the servants and told them, "Do whatever he tells you to do." Nearby were some very large jars of water. Each held around 100 liters of water. Jesus told the servants to fill the jars with water. They obeyed and filled each one to the brim. Jesus then told the servants, "Go and draw out some of the water and take it to the men in charge of the wedding party." They took a small jar of the water to the master of the party. He had no idea what had been going on. He tasted it, and then he turned to the bridegroom. "Everyone brings out the best wine, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink," he said. "But you have kept the best wine until now." When Jesus' disciples realized that Jesus had turned water to wine, they believed in him. It was the first miracle Jesus did to show his power and glory.
That was a nice story. But Anna, what do you like the most about this story?
Well, I like this story very much because it tells me that Jesus is not boring. Some people, they think that Jesus is boring and church is boring, but God, he's really funny. And Jesus, he liked good food and he liked wine.
Wine? Do you think Jesus drank wine?
Oh yes, I'm sure he drank wine. And I know that he doesn't mind when we have a good time.
Okay.
And this story also tells us that Jesus gives us more than we ask for. You know, when they didn't have any wine, he could just have said, "Oh, I will give them a couple of bottles." But no, he didn't. He gave them 600 liters of wine.
Wow, that's like 800 bottles
Yeah.
of wine?
Yes,
Wow,
it is.
They must have been thirsty.
Yeah. And finally, this story tells us that Jesus, he doesn't want to give us bad things. No, he wants to give us the best.
Oh, so no cheap wine?
No cheap wine for this wedding party. No. He gave them the best kind of wine.
So Jesus, he really loved parties and fun.
Yeah. And paper hats. He did.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that Jesus, like paper hat.
Yeah, sure. So this was my story.
Yeah.
So what story would you like to tell, Thomas?
Let me see. Which one should I choose? No.
Okay.
But before I share this story,
Yeah.
I need to go and get something.
What?
Yeah, just a second. Just a second.
But Thomas,
Yeah.
but everybody's waiting.
Yeah, I'm coming.
What are you doing?
Just a second.
What is that?
So now I'm ready for the next story.
Okay.
Because this next story from the Bible, now it's gonna be wet and dangerous. So don't bring the paper hat.
Okay.
No.
So it's
So are
wet.
you ready? Wet and dangerous. I'm telling you.
Dangerous? No. Okay. Then I better bring this one.
Okay, good. I think you're ready now. So listen to this story. Jesus calms a storm. After a busy day of teaching, when it came to evening, Jesus spoke to his disciples, "Let's go over to the other side of Lake Galilee." Leaving the crowds behind, they got into a boat and set off. The trip across the lake was around 21 kilometers. The weather was calm when they set off, and Jesus was very tired. He lay down to sleep on a cushion in the back of the boat. Galilee is surrounded by very high hills, and strong winds can descend of these down into the lake, causing violent storms. A furious storm suddenly blew up, and big waves broke over the boat. Water flooded into the boat faster than they could bail it out. Although many on board were experienced fishermen, they became very afraid. The boat was swamped, and it wouldn't be long before they would sink. Jesus was still fast asleep on a cushion in the back of the boat. The disciples shook him awake. "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" Jesus replied, "You have little faith. Why are you so afraid?" Jesus stood up in the violently rocking boat and gave orders to the wind and the waves. "Quiet, be still." The wind died down and it was completely calm. "Why were you so afraid?" Jesus asked his disciples. "Where is your faith?" The disciples were terrified and amazed at the power of Jesus. "Who is this?" they asked each other. "Even the wind and waves obey him."
Thomas, why did you choose this story?
Well, I like this story very much because it always makes me think about who is in my boat.
But you don't have a boat.
I don't mean a boat, I mean who is in my life. It makes me think about how important it is to have Jesus in my life and not just fill up my boat or my life with all kind of junk. Think about the disciples.
Yes.
What were they supposed to do if Jesus wasn't in their boat?
Oh, maybe they would have drowned.
Yeah, exactly.
But why do you like this story, Thomas? I mean, Jesus gets a little upset, doesn't he?
Yeah, actually, Jesus is a little grumpy in this story when they wake him up.
Well, of course he's grumpy. They just woke him up and he
Yeah,
was sleeping.
But that's not the reason why Jesus is grumpy.
No?
No, it makes Jesus very sad to see that the disciples are so scared. They're not supposed to be afraid. They have Jesus in their boat. And they could calm the sea themselves if they just have faith in Jesus.
They could?
Yeah, they could. When we have Jesus in our lives, nothing is impossible. We don't have to be afraid. We can do what Jesus did. So, Anna, the story is over.
No.
Yes?
No.
It is over and it ended well.
It did?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, because Jesus was in the story, so I'm sure it ended well.
Okay.
Yeah. Good.
It was very scary, I think.
Yeah, and wet and dangerous, just like I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I think we have time for one more story.
well, now I just put on my raincoat.
Yeah, but then choose a story with some more water and a boat, maybe.
A story with Jesus and water and a boat.
Yeah.
Oh, I know one more.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I'll tell this one then.
I'm ready.
Jesus walks on water. It was the evening of a busy day in which Jesus had taught over 5,000 people and given them food by a miracle. Jesus told his disciples to get in a boat and row back to Capernaum. He would join them later. After sending the crowds away, Jesus climbed up the side of a mountain to pray. As it got dark, Jesus could see the disciples had rowed 6 kilometers. They were working very hard as the wind was against them and the waves were rocking the boat. Shortly before dawn, Jesus finished praying and started walking the quickest way back to Capernaum, across the sea. He was going to walk past the boat, but the disciples saw him. "It's a ghost!" they cried out in terror. "Be brave!" shouted Jesus. "Don't be scared. It's me." "Lord, if it is you," Peter asked, "tell me to walk on the water to you." "Come," Jesus answered. Peter got out of the boat and started to walk towards Jesus. But as he heard the sound of the wind and saw the waves, he started to doubt. Immediately he began to sink. "Lord, save me!" he cried. Jesus reached out his hand and caught Peter. "You have so little faith," Jesus told him. "Why did you doubt?" Jesus lifted Peter into the boat and climbed aboard to join the disciples. The disciples were amazed and worshipped Jesus. "You really are the Son of God," they exclaimed. Almost immediately, the boat reached the shore. As they got off the boat, people recognized Jesus and started bringing those who were sick to him. All those who touched his clothes were healed. I like this story very much because it reminds me that nothing is impossible to God. Well, think about it. Jesus walked on water, and that's impossible. Nobody can do that, but God can. So in that way, it reminds me how amazing God is.
Yeah, but poor Peter. He failed.
Well, I don't agree with you. I know many people, they listen to this story and then they think that Peter failed. But think about it. Peter did actually walk on the water. He was able to walk on the water as long as he looked at Jesus. John and James and the other disciples, they never walked on water. Peter was the only one who actually did walk on the water.
Yeah, but still, Peter, he sank.
Yeah, but not until he started to look at the waves and all the troubles around him instead of Jesus. In the same way, in our lives, when troubles come and we need to do the impossible, we have to look at Jesus, and then nothing will be impossible to us.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I find it difficult not to look at my problems and think about all the difficult stuff.
Well, that is why this story is so good, because we're human and sometimes we fail. But this story tells us that when we fail, Jesus will be there to help us, to catch us, and make sure that we will be okay.
So this was the last story that we will tell today.
Yeah, I really like this story because
Yeah?
I tried this myself.
You tried what?
To walk on water.
You've walked on water?
Yeah, I did. It was this huge lake, and I remember I walked all the way.
When was this?
Last winter, I think it was.
Last winter in
yeah.
Denmark?
And I tell you, I walked all the way from one side to another in this huge lake.
But Thomas...
And I didn't get wet at all.
Yeah, of course, because during the winter in Denmark, it's freezing cold and then there's ice on the lake. You walked on ice.
Yeah, but...
That's not a miracle.
But, okay. But some people, they have tried to walk on water just like Peter and Jesus.
Yeah, that's right. They have. Especially when they have been through dangerous times and stuff. Jesus has helped them like that.
Yeah.
Maybe another time we can tell some of these stories.
So it is possible.
It is. Nothing is impossible with God.
No. So, this was the last video teaching from us to you before the summer break.
Yes, because in June, Pastor Jeremy will come by Jesus Church to teach you, and we know that he's looking forward to it very much.
Before we end, we want to share some good news with you.
Yes.
Because these are flight tickets from Denmark to Cyprus.
Yes, so we will come and visit you all, and we will spend time with you in the Jesus Church the last Sunday in September.
And the first Sunday in October.
Yes, and we can't wait to see you there.
We miss you so much.
Yes.
But see you in September.
Yes, we will. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.